The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dumbcast. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Dave Canyon. Let's do the show. Oh, that's so great. So excited. Everybody's excited. We do it once a week, just about, sometimes twice a week. But this week, once a week, I think it's going to be, no, I might do two. This is episode 59. Welcome to episode 59, Duking It Out. I'm pre-naming it. Duking It Out, it's actually going to be a preview. If you're actually listening to this on Sunday, what is today, the 19th? I got to spend time looking now. Yeah. Sunday, February 19th, I'm going to upload this as soon as I get home. So if you're listening to this sometime during the day, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on Duking It Out on the comedypipe.com comedy network. Normally they do Pipe Dream Live on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I'll do a plug for that in a minute when I do the mileage report. But tonight we're doing a special one-off. They call it a one-off. Who knows? Maybe it'll be very successful, and we'll do another one. But it won't be weekly. It most likely won't even be monthly. You know, once, twice a year. I could see this maybe going quarterly. Quarterly sounds like a doable thing. You know, because we're using the comedypipe.com comedy studios, the comedy podcast studios. Studio. I don't know if this is... I've never been in the B studio. I've only been in Studio A. So this is a preview. I'm going to be talking about Duking It Out tonight. So I'll be talking about Duking It Out now and give you a little idea of what you're going to be listening to tonight. And at the same time, be very informative, entertaining, and hopefully compelling. So thank you, dum-dums. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode 58, which was Stuck in the Middle with You. Please stop the hatred. Stuck in the Middle with You was inspired by some encounters I had on Facebook. You know how I love Facebook. Well, I posted something, and did I get attacked? You know, I don't like when other people use the word attack, so I'm not going to say attack because I didn't really get attacked. It was words on a screen. So, you know, when they talk about cyberbullying and all that stuff, yeah, I'm empathetic to a point. I have a friend that's a very big... a big what to do. I don't know what the word is. He's an expert on bullying, and he goes around the country giving seminars. He's written a book, and he does this whole thing about anti-bullying. Of course, nobody's pro-bullying. He's, you know, and yes, is it an issue? Yeah, it was an issue when I was growing up, and it's an issue now. So, anyway, cyberbullying. I would have to talk to him about that and have him convince me that there is such a thing, that you can somehow be bullied over the internet through some sort of virtual world. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I don't know. Which, by the way, is another thing I posted on Facebook this week. One of the greatest attributes a human being can have, one of the things that most attracts me to a human being, is when they admit, I don't know. So I was kind of looking for an I don't know. Or, Dave, there's a possibility that what you're saying is true. Or, Dave, I think you're wrong, but here's my reason. But I didn't get that. I got a lot of flack. So you can go on my Facebook page. I invite you. Go ahead. Go on my Facebook page, Dave Canyon. I think it's under Dave Canyon. If it's not under Dave Canyon, it's under David Canyon. That's how much I give a crap about it. And I just asked a question. I think it was about Betsy Devos. Is that her name? I don't know. The new Secretary of Education. And wow, holy cow. Boy, is there so much hatred, directed towards her. And anyway, there was a lot of comments that were made against her, sort of against me. And I tried to explain my issues with reading, my issues with comprehension. I have issues. I have absolute issues. I've discussed it here, and I will continue to discuss it because I know there are those of you out there that have the same thing. I might be talking to somebody right now that has, wow, all my life, yeah. How come I haven't been diagnosed? Where was my special needs? Where was my coach? Where was my intervention? Where was my support group? Believe me, I ask that all the time. because my wife works in the school system, and I hear all about the help that they're giving kids these days. Yeah, well, for 12 years I was in the New York City public school system. How did nobody? See, I needed help with that. How did anybody? No, probably nobody. How did nobody see? This guy's got a little bit of a record here. Every year, this guy's got so much potential. When you talk to him, he's this way. But when you try to educate him, he's another way. What can we do? What's the deal with David? How do we get him out of his, shell? And that's not really the phrase I'm looking for. How do we get him to be all like the other, privileged white people, privileged white Jewish people in the school? Yeah, it was privileged Italians too, but it was mostly privileged whites. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying there was a lot of privilege. There was a lot of good stuff going on. People getting a lot of things, whether they deserved it or not. No need to apologize for it, and it's not a thing I'm prepared to talk about today. I'm going to say I don't know, but in comparison to many of the other schools in New York City that were not 90-some-odd% white, I think we did pretty good. I think we got away with a lot. But I'm not an expert. I could not give you one shred of evidence. It's just based on my view of the world, the view of the United States, the view of the areas I've lived in, the view of the jobs I've had, the view of the way I view my perspective on how, for the most part, white people are treated and how they're treated by other white people. And it's just, it's just the way it is. I'm happy to be white. It's worked out very well for me. I would not opt for black. Even if it gave me like some great attribute. It would have to be some great attribute where I could change the world. I'd have to be like a Jackie Robinson type or a Roberto Clemente type. I'd have to be, I'm picking athletes. I don't know. Oh, okay. What's his name? What's the astrologer? He's not an astrologer, dummy. He's an astronomer. Neil deGrasse Patrick DeGreason, whatever his name is. Neil Patrick Harris DeGreason. I don't know his name. DeGrasse. Yeah, he's pretty smart. He's done very well for himself. He's out there at the Museum of Natural History down there. What do they call that? Where they do the laser rock and all that stuff. Why I'm such an idiot. Anyway, not the Mediterranean. Oh, you guys, help me out. What is it called? Where you do the stars in the auditorium, in the Mediterranean, in the astronomization. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, it doesn't matter. I don't know it this week. Yeah, another time for me to be a great attribute of myself. I don't know it. Another great way of touting that whole thing. I don't know. Do I have gas? Yeah, I have gas. Okay. Let's do the mileage report real quick. Maybe it'll come back to me. It's killing me what this thing is called. I feel like pausing the phone and pausing the show and looking it up. But I can't. He's in charge of the Hayden Planetarium. Woo-hoo! Yeah! Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I don't have a sound effect for that. Ding, 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 ding. Woo! The Hayden Planetarium. What did I say? Auditorium? I said a lot of things. Mediterranean? Yeah, he's in charge of the Mediterranean. They gave him a whole body of water. They said, hey, Neil deGrasse Neil Harris Tyson, whatever his name is. Now I got to figure out his name. Neil Patrick Harris, right? No, it's whatever. He's got one of those wacky names. Who cares? But he does Nova now, isn't he? Doesn't he do like Nova, where the Carl Sagan used to have it, and he's in charge of the Hayden Planetarium. He's always going around saying genius things. Yeah, genius things. That's what I'm going to call it. That's what this dum-dum is going to refer to how he speaks. He speaks like a genius. So, okay, let's do the mileage report. I'm glad we got that out of the way. I really wasted a lot of time on this whole thing. Talking about schooling, special needs, and my post on Facebook. See, I'm backtracking. There you go. Okay, it's all connected. I'm dumbing it down exquisitely today, and I'm trying to give you a duking it out preview. I haven't even got to that. The mileage report brought to you by ComedyPipe.com. ComedyPipe.com, which presents Pipe Dream Live every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, wherever you are in the world. Wherever you are in the world, if it's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, soon to be Daylight Savings Time. Yeah, in the United States, on the East Coast, more specifically Schenectady, New York, it's time for Pipe Dream Live with your host, Mike, also known as 3D. And tonight, it'll be duking it out, February 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's 4 o'clock, Specific. I love that. Specific time. You really should just change it to specific. I know it's specific. It's just, come on. You want to say specific, don't you? It's like spaghetti. Spaghetti. So that's the opposite. Okay, I'm just going down a tangent here. Going down a rabbit hole. 228,168 miles. Wow. Kia. Good job, Kia. Hook me up. Doing a podcast, episode 59. I'm way past the pod fade. Way past the pod fade of episode 7. I'm at episode 59. Number 60 will be done tonight, probably, on my way back from doing my Duking It Out show. It's going to be a 2-hour show. The first hour we're going to dedicate, this is the plan. This doesn't mean it's going to happen. This is the plan. Here's the plan. Episode 59. I am shot out of a cannon. I'm not tired at all today. I feel fantastic. I do. I had a little bit of a shorter week. My days were just a little bit short. Not a lot shorter. And by the way, I was very tired 3 hours ago. I took a nap on the side of the road. You ever sleep in a truck? Yeah, it's great. I recommend it. Do you have back pain? Do you want some? I recommend sleeping in a truck, sitting up. It's great. Put your neck to the side. Put your neck one way and contort your body the other way. Twist yourself like a pretzel. And that's how you sleep in a truck. Yeah, well, you want to spread your legs out? Sure, why not? Why don't you just put your feet right through the dashboard? Yeah, that works great. You'll break something. They'll love you at the shop. No, I'm just being very facetious. Facetious? You know what I mean. Facetious. Today's backwards day here at Dumbing It Down with Dave. Here at Dave It Down with Dumb. So, all right, duking it out. Let's get to that. Did I explain the fake book thing? Yeah, I got a little bit attacked. Not really, because it's cyber. But, and there was some bad karma stuff being thrown around. I was innocent. I'm curious what you think. Go to my fake book page, Dave Canyon, and look at my Betsy Devos post. Oh yeah, I was talking about the Secretary of Education. I don't know what she's going to do. I don't have any problems with her. I don't know her. I had never heard of her until the other day. All of a sudden, there's like immediate hatred. Woo! We are just quick to hate these days. Hate. And wishing bad karma on those who voted for President Trump. Bad karma. Well, you got to be careful. When you live in California and you're wishing bad karma, you're right there by the fault line. Not to mention they're getting a little flooded right now. Not to mention they got a dam. I don't know how that happened. They got a dam. I don't know how old it is. No, a dam, a reservoir, a spillover, a spillway, and the thing just fell apart. Like my furnace a couple of weeks ago. All that money, all that engineering, that spillway. It looks like a skateboard park. It probably, I bet you gets used a lot by the kids. You know what? They should have let them graffiti it. Their paint would have kept it together. That's what keeps cement from falling apart. Let the kids graffiti it. Let them skate on it. Let them do things to it. It's whatever's in that Krylon spray paint can keeps the cement together. Okay, anyway. So you gotta be careful of the bad karma. And the people who I'm referring to, I'm not going to mention their names. I don't have any ill will towards them. I just was kind of wishing they'd be a little bit more empathetic to my special needs. Just because I'm a 53-year-old adult doesn't mean I don't have special needs. I have confessed time and time again. I have reading issues, comprehension issues. I have certain listening issues. Like when I try to listen to Awesome Insanity Surfers, one of my favorite podcasts. Sometimes I say to myself, I don't know what we're talking about anymore because they're so damn smart. That Linda Irwin of her and her buddy there, Dawson Green, with the comedy, with the sketches, with the writing and the characters. I got to hit the 30-second reverse button a lot. I do, Linda. I got to reverse it. I'm like, wait a minute, what did they just say? What are we talking? Because I think part of the show is based in reality. I think they got some scientific stuff they discuss, and then they kind of make fun of it. I don't know. I trust her. I trust her implicitly. Maybe it's all comedy. What do I know? But it's very interesting. And I have to listen to it. I have to pay attention. I don't like that. But I'm not gonna take a shot at her show because she puts a lot of effort into it. I could really appreciate that. It takes her like, I don't know how many days to do one of those 20-minute Awesome Insanity Surfer show that you could find here on Spreaker. Awesome Insanity Surfers. Like surfing. I think it would take me about a month to do a 5-minute show. I don't know. I don't know. There's a write-up. I did a write-up, by the way, for the event, for the Duking It Out event. I wrote that write-up. That took me about a half an hour. To write that up. But that's not a sketch. That's just me describing the cast of characters that will be appearing on Duking It Out tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On the the United States, East 7 o'clock. And if you miss it, by the way, I can't watch it. Oh, Dave, I'm so sorry. Don't text me. Don't Facebook me. Oh, I can't. I'm busy. It's going to be archived. You can watch it on YouTube. You can actually see it. You can see me live. You can see my beautiful big fat pumpkin head, or whatever you want to call it. You can refer to my head any way you want. It's a little big. It's a little big. It's not the biggest one I've ever seen. Nobody's ever called me a pumpkin head. But, probably on TV, it probably adds a couple of hat sizes to my head, Anyway, so maybe we'll measure my head tonight. Maybe that'll be one of the things we do. But the plan is the first hour, we'll be doing a little reminiscing about Duke's Last Laugh. That's a comedy open mic I used to host a couple of years ago in Glenmont, New York, at a place called Duke's. And they called it Duke's Last Laugh. There we go. And the second hour, I think maybe we'll get a little crazy. We'll get a little political. We'll get whatever. We're going to let it go. We're going to stop for 5 minutes in between shows and go outside and make sure our cars didn't get stolen, because we're doing it in Schenectady. That's the joke. So if you know Schenectady, you're like, that's right. You should go out and make sure your cars didn't get broken into. And by the way, during this podcast tonight, we will be drinking. I will be drinking Modelo beer, my new favorite beer, Modelo, and also. Thank you, Corona, for all your years of service. Move over. There's a new beer in town for me. It's called Modelo. Thank you, Steve, for introducing me to Modelo. Now I'm hooked. Now I'm fully prepared to become an alcoholic just to drink Modelo. And one of the participants in tonight's podcast, comedian Joshua Vincent, has purchased some bourbon. I was going to buy the bourbon, but he bought the bourbon. So we're going to be drinking bourbon and Modelo and doing a podcast, a comedy podcast. So you can watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it on comedypipe.com. You can listen to it, but I suggest watching it. It'll be a little bit visual. All right, so there you go. Duking It Out. That's a preview. Who else is going to be on? Jason Smith, whose show I did last week. Show 57 was Jason Smith's deplorable radio show that he does about once a month on WGXC Radio. Look at me hobnobbing with radio hosts and podcast hosts and stand-up comedians. You don't know Joshua Vincent, and you don't know Jason Smith that well. I know them because we used to do an open mic together. They were regulars, and they're both very funny. And also Mike, also known as 3D from Pipe Dream. He'll be there tonight. So I've introduced, and me, I'll be there. And you know me a little bit, right? You might have heard the last 58 episodes, including this one, 59. All right, so Duking It Out, that's the name of it. So let me just real quickly just give you a quick thing about my stand-up career. So because that's where this whole thing is coming from, this Duking It Out. I think I explained the whole fake book harassment thing, right? I think I just go to my fake book page, look it up. And by the way, I'm on Twitter at Dumb with Dave. I think tonight you might be able to tweet me at Dumb with Dave. I think Comedy Pipe, I think, is also on Twitter. I don't know how we're going to communicate with people. You can Skype in also, but sometimes it doesn't sound that good. And if you're going to Skype into the show, I would Skype in with the audio. Don't Skype in with the video and the audio. Just do the audio, because nobody can see you anyway, and it's just a waste of time. So don't do the video. Just do the audio. If you Skype in, I don't know how you Skype in. Go to the event page on Facebook. The Duking It Out event page, or go to comedypipe.com and you'll see the post. And friend me if you want to friend me on Facebook at Dave Canyon, and I'll share the event with you. I'll invite you. Whatever. I'll be home all day. I'll be leaving my house about 5 o'clock Eastern. I got to go pick up Joshua. That's what comedians do. They go pick up other comedians. I offered to pick up Jason Smith, but he's got his own ride. So and Mike, we're going to Mike's studio, so he'll already be there. All right. So everybody's funny, and it's gonna be an interesting show. All right, my comedy career, I gotta tell you, I did okay. I'm happy with it. I would like to have kept on. I worked not that hard at it in some respects. I was not a big time writer. That was a big mistake of mine. I really needed to discipline myself to write. I needed to have pen and paper wherever I go and just go, okay, I see a tree and whatever, I see the sun and I see a bird. I need to hear things on the radio and immediately write. But the problem is when you're driving a tractor trailer, it's not really conducive to writing. Not to mention I was way more exhausted then than I am now. So imagine how tired I am now, working 5 16-hour days. Then I was so in bad health. I can't believe I didn't become a diabetic. I can't believe I didn't have a stroke. I can't believe I didn't have a heart attack. I'm lucky to be alive the way I took care of myself back then, with the overeating and the undersleeping and the overstressing, and it was just terrible. I was so unhealthy. I'd love to see pictures of myself. I'd love to see my medical report. I'd love to see it, because I was a sick person. But I did okay. I did a lot of hosting because I had the open mic, and then people liked my hosting, so they hired me to do more hosting. Hosting is definitely different from doing a 5 or 10 minute spot or doing a half hour. They call that a feature. If you do like a 20 minutes to half an hour, you're like a feature. And if you do like an hour, you're a headliner. 2 minutes to an hour. If you have that much comedy material where you're killing it, then you're a headliner. I don't know what I had. I probably didn't. I could say I had 10 minutes. I've done 10 minutes at the Comedy Cellar. If you've heard of the Comedy Cellar, Louis C.K. and Colin Quinn and Chris Rock, a lot of these guys have started and worked at the Comedy Cellar in Manhattan. I was never booked there. I took a class there, and then I ended up performing there as part of a graduation thing. And then the guy who ran it is Rick Chrome, who's kind of a buddy of mine, but he also liked my comedy, liked the effort I was giving, thought I was funny, and brought me back a couple of times for other graduation shows that were lacking in comedy, because the graduates weren't exactly graduatable. But there's no comedian left behind. They're all graduated. So sometimes they go, I need a little help at the end of the show, Dave. Can you come in and do 10 minutes? Absolutely. And I love performing at the Comedy Cellar. But writing was not my strong suit, and that was a big mistake. I really needed to force myself as to what Rick calls peeling back the onion. Peeling back the onion, where you just keep on peeling and get to the core, and you find more. As you peel back, you find more stuff to talk about. And I never really purposed myself that way. I never really dedicated myself, and that was a big mistake. But anyway, I could do more about my comedy career, but I feel funny about talking about it. I'd rather somebody ask me questions. I enjoyed it for the most part. It was really all social for me. That's my bottom line. I don't think I did it. I didn't do it with the intention of becoming rich and famous or even well-respected and full-time comedian. The whole deal was I used to bowl. I bowled in a league. And then my knee started to hurt. The knee that I landed on, because I was so fat and overweight and disgusting and sick and out of shape. So I would bowl, and I would land on my right. You know how you put your left leg up in the, I'm a lefty. You put your left leg up in the air when you throw the ball, when you release the ball, and then the right leg would be the leg I stop on. Well, it started to hurt, and I started drinking a lot of beer and taking aspirin. It was Advil with the beer at the bowling alley. And then there was a class that I took. I saw a class for stand-up comedy. I took the class, and I gave up bowling. And it was all social for me. I enjoy the socialness, sociology. I like being social. I like the people. I like meeting people of like minds. Whether they were lefty or righty, it didn't matter. They were comedians. We could all talk. Most of us hung out. Some of us didn't hang out. But I hung out with Joshua Vincent a lot. I hung out with Jason Smith somewhat, but not to the point of Joshua Vincent. Him and I really went out. We tied a few on. All right. Let me, so that's it for that. So if you could tune in tonight for Duking It Out, that's a little bit of a preview, and I gave you a little information. I dumbed it down, right? Did I dumb it down for you? All right. Listen, I'm going to talk about this now. I had to take my physical this is how we're going to finish the show. I'm going to dumb it down. I'm going to dumb down DOT physicals for you, Department of Transportation. I had to go take a physical. They gave me a 2-month card. They're supposed to give you a year card or a 2-year card, but I have high blood pressure, so they only give you a year. If you're perfectly healthy, they give you 2 years. It's a big racket. It's a big money-making racket. Whatever. I'm going to delve into it a little bit more in future episodes, because it's a scam. And I shouldn't be bringing any attention to it, because I'm fortunate enough, and I don't know what percentage of American truckers, I talked about that a couple of episodes ago, how unhealthy and tired a lot of these truckers are. That's why you see them kind of moving around on the road. They should be asleep, or they probably shouldn't be behind the wheel of a truck. But this is the unhealthy America we live in. We created it, and we still live in it. All right, so I got 5 minutes. Let me go over some questions here. This is not from the DOT. This is a piece of paper I'm holding in my hand. Can you hear it? This is a piece of paper I hold in my hand from the doctor that I go to. Here's a questionnaire that I had to fill out before I took my physical. I did not take my DOT physical with him, but this is the physical. These are the questions I had to answer before I took my regular physical with him. I took 2 physicals, one for him, all right, and one for DOT. All right. So some of these questions I found interesting. Maybe you'll find them funny and interesting or informative. This is a whole questionnaire. There's like 20 some odd questions, and I'm going to do them in rapid fire. All right. And if I think something's funny, I'll stop and I'll acknowledge it. And we'll discuss it. All right. Please answer the following questions. Here it goes. Do you exercise? And I'm going to give you my answers too. I'm going to tell you what my answers were. Do you exercise at least 3 times per week for 30 minutes at a time? I wrote yes. That's not true. I haven't done that in a long time, so I lied. How many? Because if you say yes, then they're going to start offering assistance, and I don't want that. You got to be careful what you say yes to. Sometimes you got to lie. How many times? I'm admitting on a podcast I've lied during a physical. What does that mean? I don't know. All right. How many times in the past year have you had 5 or 4 for the women or more drinks in a day? So for the men, how many times have I had more than 5 drinks in a day? And for the women, the answer would be 4. I wrote 0. That's not true. There's been several days where I've had more than 4 or 5 drinks. Whatever. Do you currently smoke cigarettes? No. Do you use other illegal drugs? No. You can't say no, yes to illegal drugs. That's a fail. And do you currently smoke cigarettes? No, I'm not going to fess up to that. Even if I did. Maybe I smoke cigars. How come they don't ask you that? Okay. What percent of the time do you wear a seatbelt? What do you think I wrote? 100%. 100%. I love my seatbelt. I always wear it. Not true. All right. I think I wear it about 10% of the time. I wear it when I know I have to because I hate the seatbelt. I think the seatbelts are horrible. But hey, listen, if you like them, go ahead. All right. How many hours of sleep do you get each night? I wrote 5. They didn't question me on that. You're supposed to get 7. It's somewhere between 6 and 7, 6 and 8. I wrote 5. But it's really like, well, that really is what I'm averaging lately. I am averaging 5. Do you sleep well? I wrote yes. No, I don't sleep well. I sleep during the day. Who sleeps well during the day? Nocturnal animals. There you go. Nocturnal animals. All right. 3 minutes. I got to go through this a little bit quicker. Does your home have working smoke detector? No, detectors. I wrote yes. Carbon monoxide detectors? Yes, of course. That is true. I actually have that. But it's just an interesting question to ask. Do you feel safe in your home? I wrote yes. Actually, I'm terrified of the bears. I'm terrified. No, that's not true. Do I feel safe in my home? Yes. Who would answer no to that? What kind of a physical is this? If there are guns in the home, are they secured? I wrote no guns. I wrote that. I should have wrote yes, my RK, whatever that is. That horrible, super machine gun. Yes, I have it locked up. It's in my tank. It's in my armored vehicle. Okay, that's what I should have written. I wonder if anybody actually reads these things. In the last year, have you experienced any of the following? Big finish here. Significant weight loss or weight gain? No. Blurred or decreased vision? No. That's not true. Yes, the answer to that is yes, but I wrote no. Ear symptoms, persistent sore throat, non-healing mouth sores, or dental issues? No. That's true. Have you ever been prescribed a hearing aid? No. But I do like listening in through my certain doors with a cup. I like putting the cup up to a door and listening in. That's not true. I'm just making fun. All right, so the answer is no. When was the last time you saw a dentist? I wrote 2016. That's true. Chest pain or discomfort? No. Short of breath with exertion? No. Persistent cough? No. Change in bowel movements? I wrote no. I should have said my bowel movements are excellent. You should see them. Shortness of breath with exertion? Oh, I already did that. Rectal bleeding? No. Heartburn more than twice weekly? No. Painful urination? No. But I like a little tingling. I like to feel a little something when I pee. Right? That makes sense. All right, we're almost done. Urinary frequency. I wrote no. Am I supposed to write yes? I have no idea. What does that mean? Urinary frequency. Is it like a radio? Am I like tuning in my urinary? What does that mean? How often I urinate? I don't know what they mean. Blood in the urine? No. Leakage of urine? No. But if you drink all that water you're supposed to drink, you know what? Yeah, every so often I drip a little. I leak a little. Yeah, I'm 53. Guess what? I leak a little. Ha ha ha. Isn't that great? Yeah, I leak a little. Loss of consciousness? No. Frequent or severe headaches? No. Joint pain or gout? No. Back pain? No. Neck pain? No. Depression? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Have you heard the podcast, doctor? Apparently no. Oh, this is almost over. All right, 30 seconds. Anxiety? No. Of course it's yes. For men, are you able to achieve and maintain an erection? And I went, well, not all the time. All right, I got to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye. Good night. Good day. Good luck. Good riddance. Godspeed and great skills. See you at episode 60 or tonight. Tonight, tune in. Bye.